all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, Rakar, Wadash. You know, the Most High, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. All right, double honors to the apostles, the great millstone, the elders, who we learn this knowledge from through the Spirit of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua. Salutations, you know, and admonishments to you brothers that's watching, that's pushing the word in sincerity and in truth. All right, this is another episode, GMS Heralds, you know, the messages. They come in the name of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, with the message of what's to come. You know, future events. We're into futurism, right? Yeah, we're into the prophecies. You know, the reason why we're out here is to speak of the things before they come to pass. All right, so bring that out in Sirach.
Also get Jeremiah 28.
Yeah, Jeremiah 28.
Because the thing is, being a herald means being Yahweh. When you are Yahweh's herald, or Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua's herald, you're pretty much a herald as an announcer. So pretty much what we do is you announce, and a herald usually announce war, especially you talk about competition, two major titanic forces clashing. You always had to have an announcer, somebody who blew that trumpet and said, okay, this particular individual, you know what I'm saying, that's coming to fight this particular individual. And that's what a prophet does. A prophet is a herald.
This is Sirach 39:1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients, and be occupied in prophecy. Read it again. This is Sirach 39:1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients.
Yeah, so if you're giving your mind to the Lord, you know, you're going to be occupied in the meditation of the Lord. You're going to be occupied in this prophecy. You're going to be occupied in the ways of the ancients, you know. The scriptures say, prepare the search of your fathers. We so-called Negroes, you know, amongst us, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, mainly the Negroes, the majority of you so-called Negroes you didn't grow up with your fathers, man. You don't know generation from generation your lineage, you know. So that's why you got to find something as a man, which we found in scriptures, to go back into history.
As a matter of fact, brother, can you get right for Job? Because the brother talked about it. I mean, the nation of Israel, yeah, but not that one. That one's good too. But Job 29 and 16. Because you got it. All right, bring it up.
It's Job 29:16. It says, I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I searched out.
Right, that's what it is. I was a father to the poor. Why? Because the poor, being the nation of Israel, we're talking about specifically the men out of the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. A lot of us grew up without actual physical fathers. So now the Lord, being our spiritual father, he has set up men to be your fathers now, man, on this go around, man. That's who we are. So Job said he was a what? Again?
Job 29:16. It says, I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I searched out.
Right, and that's exactly what we are. Starting with our apostles and elders, a great millstone on down. You know, we are the fathers to the poor. The poor of you are you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, Israelites. And for the cause that we know not, we searched out. That's why we study day in and day out. You know, we watch videos, we read, we study, we go into different books. We sacrificing our bodies, not only out here in the highways and the edges, but we sacrificing our bodies when we out during the week, right? We could be out during the week doing different things, but brothers like, no, today I gotta study for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours before I even start doing this and this and that. Or the brother might say, all right, let me do this and this and that so I can hurry up and study. Everything our lives revolves around studying and studying and studying and getting more wisdom and knowledge and understanding. What do you think that is? We're not doing it for ourselves, man. The reason why we constantly have that energy, that passion, which passion means suffering, is for what? It's for others it's for other Israelites, man. It's not about us. Because listen, because selfish people don't dedicate their lives, they don't have that type of energy or that type of dedication. Now, you see these niggas in sports, you know, but we know niggas in sports, you know, you see the hardcore training niggas gotta do, whether it be basketball, football, all the dedication, the 2 days and all that, man. Listen, at that particular time, what's pushing that nigga is the fact that what? His nigga would tell you, in his mind in that time, he's thinking, I gotta feed my family. He's thinking, yo, all we got to eat at home is a bowl of cereal all day, man. We go days without eating. So these are things that make him go that extra left, you know, do that extra squat, that extra curl, because he's thinking about feeding his family. Now, because America's wicked as hell, when he gets to the top, then his selfishness comes out. But it's not that selfishness that made him get to the top. It was the fact that he was thinking about his family. He was thinking about his people. And that's the same mentality that the men of the Lord have. We thinking about what? The election. That's what pushes us to continue to sacrifice ourselves and watching and to keep an eye on prophecies, man. So that like the scripture said, we are the father to the poor, and the cause that we know not, we search out. Go ahead,
This is 1 John chapter 2, verse 14. I have written unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I have written unto you, young men, because ye are strong, and the word of the Most High abideth in you, and ye have overcome the wicked one.
Right.
Yeah, how we do overcome the wicked one? These words, man. Through searching out these things. You know, the scriptures say, freely give, or freely have received, we freely give, you know?
That's right, that's right.
That's what it's all about, man. You know, we're beyond the point where it's about us. It's not about us. It's about we're building a nation, man. You know what I'm saying? We're building a nation. And this nation, we're part of the building of this nation, and this nation is going to rule for eternity, man.
Yeah.
Through your house shop, man.
If you're in this thing for yourself, and you thinking, yo, I'm just doing this to make sure I'm good, trust me. Every accomplishment, behind every accomplishment is energy. Right, this passion, this energy, and it requires certain energy and a certain level of passion to accomplish a mission. And just doing it for yourself will not be good enough to carry you through the finish line. I promise you. Paul spoke constantly. All the travels that he made, he said, what? For the sake of well, go to Philippians 1 and 19. We go to Philippians 1:19 and read on there. All this energy that Paul had, all that spirit, that overwhelming spirit to do all the travels, right? The shipwreck, the things that he went through. What carried that man? It was the Holy Spirit, but the Holy Spirit was working with what there was inside of him. It was a what? It was a selfless spirit, man. A spirit that want to help what? The elect, to help his brothers. You got it?
Good. This is Philippians 1:19.
Right?
It says, for I know that this shall turn to my salvation.
But he says, I know that this shall turn. What shall turn to his salvation? He's talking about doing the work to save the elect, to help save the elect. Because that's what we know. We know we're not the worried about ourselves. What we're doing is witness for the election. And we know if we finish this mission of helping to teach the elect and they're being sealed, we know that's going to work towards us being saved. So that's what dudes don't understand. If you're coming in with that selfish mindset of the world, I'm doing this for me because I'm not. That's just about me. Trust me, that is not enough to carry you through that finish line, because the trials and tribulations are countless, man. Those trials and tribulations will make you sit back and be like, am I really doing this for me? Nah, man, I'm good. This is too much. But when you know you're fighting for more than just you, you're fighting for families, sincere families, elect men, women, and children that are desperately looking for that light, that ray of hope, you have a shot. When you know you're fighting for those men and women and children elect, that feeling, that energy, that passion, that spiritual energy, that's what's going to carry you to the end. That's what's going to help you overcome all these trials and tribulations, even the microchip, man.
If I may add, how long is Noah out there preaching?
Yeah, 120.
Yeah. How many times he probably wanted to say that fucking time?
If it was up to just Noah, it wouldn't have never been 120. Because all those 120 was him like the brother said, all those 120 years was that compassion. I mean, compassion means means with, passion means suffering. So you feel, you know when people say, I feel you, I feel for you. It's that feeling that we have, man. I feel for you, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah, we're going to continue to move forward and continue to watch and continue to pray, continue to fast, continue to bring forth more information, continue to keep you up to date. When we telling you that the UN troops are out here around the corner waiting, man, we keeping you updated so you can get your families ready for what's getting ready to happen here in America, man.
Matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up, the article, because I got the article on the UN. But yeah, man, we're supposed to keep you up to date, you know? I mean, that's our job. Our job is being the watchman.
That's right.
They're supposed to stand on our watch and tell you what's coming.
That's right.
And keep on telling you, know? Regardless if you hear, you don't want to hear, you know?
Brother, get what's that? Wisdom cried out.
1 and 20.
Proverbs 1 and 20.
It's Proverbs 1 and 20. It says, wisdom crieth out. She uttered her voice in the streets.
Wait, wisdom crieth out. The wisdom is what? It's having the experience and knowing, having the knowledge and the experience in the knowledge, knowing that what? Because see, how you get wisdom? The knowledge is knowing first, knowing the history, right? Knowing the history of this man. You know what Esau does. You know what Esau has done to us. The knowledge is what? The knowledge is going back to the history of this, what happened to the nation of Israel in 70 AD. What happened to the nation of Israel in 70 AD? Okay, with Titus and Vespasian, right? They took down the nation of Israel. That's the knowledge. Now, when you move forward and see that the nation of Israel is in the same predicament, that's called what? Wisdom. Because now you understand that, oh, I know, so therefore I'm expecting, because this happened in the past, the scripture says that it's going to happen again. That is called wisdom. Because the wisdom is what? The wisdom is the knowledge. Wisdom is the knowledge to help you jump or skip what? A trap, man. That's what a wisdom is. You don't perfect. Listen, wisdom is something. That's why the scripture said to attain wisdom, you have to have experience. And when you have wisdom, then it comes to you. Then you can see a trap and you can walk around it. Now you could know there's a trap, but to walk around the trap, that's wisdom, and that's the difference. Some people know about the trap, right? Oh yeah, we know about the Illuminatis. We know about the, yeah, we heard about that. Martial law. Yeah. Every motherfucker in this place knows about martial law. But when martial law comes to America, they're gonna be like, well, what is this? Well, that's the martial law you were talking about the whole time. Why? Because you had knowledge of martial law, but you didn't have the wisdom of martial law.
And how to deal with it.
That's the wisdom. Go ahead.
All right, so, I mean...
I asked for a scripture earlier. Yeah, get Job, I should get them way quick, because that's martial law right here.
This is Job chapter 19, verse 12, right? His troops come together and raise up their way against me.
Right, his troops. Whose troops? The brother's going to bring forth the article. It says his troops. Job is an Israelite. He says his troops do what? Read it again.
His troops come together and raise up their way against me.
They come together and raise up their way against me, an Israelite. Go ahead.
And encamp round about my tabernacle.
And encamp round about my tabernacle is called, and surround my people. The tabernacle is the nation of Israel. Encampment means a surrounding, man. That's exactly what happened in the fall of Masada and during 70 AD. The Roman Empire surrounded the nation of Israel, man. So bring the article, man, and see if that doesn't match what the scripture just said.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the name of this article is The First of the UN Occupation Forces to be Unveiled in Chicago.
What website is that?
First. This is from Dave Hodges. Now, we did a video a while back talking about how they was going to take people out of their homes in the middle of the night.
That's right.
And that was a pretty good video that we did. We got a lot of hits that we did, man. So it's from Dave Hodges, Common Sense Show. If anybody knows about him, he's an alternative media person.
That's the only way you're going to get that. When somebody would be like, well, hold up, that's not CNN. That's not mainstream media. Well, that's the thing. The reason why you were asleep, one of the reasons why you were asleep is because you're mainstream. What you have to understand, the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shah, he's dealing on a different stream. He's dealing on a selected stream, right? That's what we are part of. We're not part of the mainstream. If we were part of the mainstream, we'd be in CNN. We'd be in all these news channels. We are part of what? The selected stream, right? So if you're not part of the selected stream, then you're gonna miss this information. Go ahead.
We got a sub-caption under it that says, "Freeing America one enslaved mind at a time."
See that?
The enslaved minds go after the mainstream media.
Absolutely.
Because that's comfortable to them.
Yeah.
That's the comfort. That's what they know.
Easy
Corporate
access.
media.
Corporate.
Yeah, easy.
They're selling them something. Corporations sell you something.
Right, they sell them a program.
Yeah.
That's all you always said. And Anderson Cooper famous for that. That CIA motherfucker.
Yeah, because you don't have. Guess what?
No, what?
Because they don't have to think.
Right. They just
that
put
mainstream media, they don't make you think.
And you know what's worse about that? It's because now the media wasn't supposed to push propaganda. What's worse, it's one thing to put on the news information. A journalist is supposed to gather the information and say, this is the information that I gathered. You, the people, make your decision. But no, the mainstream gathers information, twist the information, and then they talk to you and make you say and tell you this is how you're supposed to think and react according to that fake information.
Yeah, they know how to trigger. They know how to trigger these people's emotions. That's what they set up for, to trigger people's emotions and get them to do something that they already have pre-prescribed, and get them to accept something.
Right.
Or keep them in confusion.
Right.
Yeah, of course it keeps them in confusion, because if you're sitting there, you find out that, okay, the mainstream says America fights ISIS. And then you hear another news say, okay, ISIS got American-made American-made weapons. You're like, hold it. I think that, okay, America fights ISIS, but ISIS has American military-made weapons. You like, that? Come on, man. Come on.
And he told you that, and the media told them that they're funding Free Syrian Army.
Yeah,
the Free Syrian Army.
They said ISIS is in Syria, right? They said ISIS is in Syria. Assad is fighting ISIS, but they also have the rebels. Fighting there. They said, but they also have the rebels, which America works with the rebels, and those rebels are fighting against Assad. So I'm like, hold up.
And ISIS.
No, Assad. They don't say they're fighting ISIS. They say they're fighting Assad. So you sitting there, so Assad is fighting ISIS, and then he's fighting rebels that America's backing, and then you put two and two together, you're like, oh, those rebels and ISIS are the same person. It's the same group.
And they running the same MO, because if you watch that movie, it was called American Made with Tom Cruise. It came out not too long ago. How the fucking CIA is setting these guys up.
Absolutely.
And then when something happens to where they about to be discovered, that there was some fucking they were like, all right, we gotta get rid of this nigga. Right?
That's the same thing that happened with the CIA agent Awalaki. Remember the so-called, he was the top terrorist after Osama bin Laden. Awalaki, look him up. Awalaki, they took him down. They killed him in Afghanistan. But basically, he was the '2 behind Osama bin Laden.
When he American citizen?
Well, he was an American citizen. He went to school in the university in New Mexico. He was New Mexico born. He was born in New Mexico. Went to Columbia University. So he was all CIA. And then what happens, they say there was an article in Fox, I remember this. There was an article in Fox that said that Awalaki was seen having dinner in the Pentagon a week after 9/11. The hell is he doing? What the hell is the #2 behind Osama bin Laden doing? I don't know if it was a week prior to 9/11 or a week after, but it was either one of those two. The #2 behind Osama bin Laden having dinner at the Pentagon with the company, man. Stop it.
He's a CIA asset. And what they do with these different CIA assets, they set them up.
Yeah, man.
To conduct business. Business as usual. And when they get discovered or when something comes up, they just toss them to the side. They either kill them or they put them in jail.
Yeah, they put them to where something they have contention with another person, so now they want to kill each other. So now they're just going to they're just going to kill each other off. Or America just wants to go to wants to go to war with them. So now we're just going to have to come and desolate the whole land.
Yeah, brother. There's many ways.
The same thing they do.
Yeah, they set Drake up with the drugs, the corners, protect them, give them protection money, and then they turn on it, they flip. All right, going back into the article, Dave Hodges' article about the UN getting their foothold into Chicago.
Hold on, brother. Let me ask you something. Oh, excuse me. Can I ask you a question? Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Hey, boss, can I ask you a question? See, Jake. Oh, he's one of those. Yeah, I wanted to make sure you heard that. Now, the reason why, because that's a good article, because these people, it's to let you know the enslaved minds, man. The enslaved minds. Excuse me, sir, can I ask you a quick question? these devils are weak, man. They're weak. Look, I ain't even want to, you know, Moab is scared to death. Go ahead, Doc.
This will soon be a familiar sight on American soil. Welcome to Chicago. Did you see that?
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
Welcome to Chicago.
The blue hats, baby.
Blue hats, man.
Woo! Man, do your history on the blue hats, man. Do your history on the blue. Wherever the blue hats are, man, it is total pandemonium and chaos.
Yeah.
Man.
And Hotel Rwanda.
That's the
with
story.
the
I
blue
was
hats.
thinking that in my
Hotel
head.
Rwanda, the blue hats.
Yeah,
it was fucking genocide going on.
And you know the crazy thing is that it's a genocide going on, but they don't fuck with the blue hats.
Nah, they don't. They don't.
They don't fuck with the blue hats. They in the countryside, and these motherfuckers be watching, seeing things go down.
Yeah, they sit around and watch. Yeah, they sit around and watch. I mean, and report to the elite.
Like refereeing.
Absolutely.
Like a referee, man.
That's what they do. And a lot of them got caught. They got caught selling guns on both sides. They get caught selling guns on president, and then they get caught selling guns on the military that's trying to commit the coup. It's all about a coup. Every time you got the United Nations in your sword, that means a coup has happened. That's why we believe that's what we're heading for, man. Because every time you talk UN, United Nations, Blue Hats, that means what? The executive branch, something has happened to the executive branch. Just saying, putting it out there.
A lot of people saying in 2018, Donald Trump could be facing the coup.
Hey, brother.
People nervous.
Yeah, it's in the air,
Yeah,
brother.
it's in the air, man.
Keep reading on that.
It says the city of Chicago is giving out the so-called city keys to every citizen and every illegal alien. Reportedly, there is a 3-point ID verification. The purpose of the ID cards in reference to the UN soldiers on the streets of Chicago, as well as UN soldiers patrolling streets of the Windy City, make it easy to round up deplorables and detain them indefinitely. See, he's saying people, they're going to be rounded up and detained indefinitely.
Oh, yeah.
Chicago is nothing but a microcosm of what they want to bring to America.
Chicago is going to be, if Chicago doesn't become ground zero, if that's not the place where they, you know, drop the pocket nuke or whatever, it's just going to be a quarantine area, man. They're going to quarantine niggas. They're going to put them in concentration camps. But a lot of them niggas in Chicago ain't even going to make it to the concentration camps because them niggas are so far gone, man. They're going to start opening up. They got that spirit. They're going to start opening up. And a lot of their bodies going to be laying on the fucking floor, man.
You're going to see if they banging on wax at the UN. At the UN,
I
man.
really, you see, niggas, and that's a beautiful thing. But see, that's why we love Yahweh B'Shem Shah. The Lord said, ask and ye shall receive. You see, these niggas have always professed to be at war, right? Every time, every game-banging nigga that I knew growing up always made you feel like it was bombs going off, you know, and we and fucking, you know, even when I grew up at like a Fort Titan, whatever, for the brothers that know about it way back in the days, you know, niggas saw, yeah, man, it's war out here. I mean, you had gunshots and shit like that. Yeah, niggas getting shot, but I'm looking at war-torn nations, and I'm like, this nigga sitting there, yeah, it's war out here, man. I got a couple soldiers out here looking out. You know, this soldier out here doing this and this and that. We out here in these streets warring and you on it. I'm like, dude, it's not a real war, nigga. We eating chicken right now, man. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You think people go and just sit around, eat chicken, and and just get to talk about war and bombs going off?
They get to go home.
But you ask, right?
Full nice rest.
Right, and then you and get women and get some box, and go to the club and go right back to the war. I mean, dude. But you niggas have asked for this war, man. You niggas have asked for this. You always talk about war. Yahweh B'Shem Shah is bringing that war to you, man. Through Esau, man. Actually, hold on. Get Psalm 17 to 13.
Just like in New Orleans, they talking that shit.
Yeah. What's
Before
that?
Hurricane Katrina got them.
Chopper City.
Chopper City, yeah.
Chopper City. Everybody got an AK-47 and shit.
With a banana clip.
It is. It is.
Gun around, drum around.
Yeah,
Psalm 17 and 13. It says, arise, O Yahweh B'Shem Shah. Disappoint him. Cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
But the UN is the UN is the stretched out arm of the wicked, man. You know, that's what the UN is. The United Nations, you know, which they're really under the EU and under NATO. They're just a stretched out arm of the wicked. Right. So the Lord said, David speaks for the elect. When he says that, he speaks for us. He speaks for the elect, saying, hey, yo, he said, Lord, please deliver me from what? From the sword, from Esau, man. Yeah. Because he's coming down, and he's got nothing but blood in his eyes, man.
Yeah, and he got military strategies. You know, these niggas in Chirac and Chopper City, they ain't got no type of strategy at all. They just watch fucking BET and rapping niggas, and then they just try to mimic this shit.
Yeah. And you know, you also gotta understand something. You know, get that revelation. The beast shall hate the whore. Okay. Because see, there's something, and that's something that Jake, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the women, the men, the women and the children, there's something that you don't know, that you haven't known, that you're gonna realize when these Gurga troops, when Northcom and the UN, when these troops open up on you, you're gonna be amazed at how happy they are to kill you niggas. You know why? Because listen, even within Esau, you have Edomites. The scripture speaks about America as the one who's more stout than the fellow. Yeah. So in Daniel, so America's more stout than all these other fellows. The Edomites here in America are very prideful, and there's a little disdain and competition that has turned into a disdain from other Edomites, even the French Edomites, although they're allies to America. Internally, there's a beef going on. There's a little disdain going on, right? What niggas don't understand, because we have decided, when I said we, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, not us. I'm saying 2/3 when they, you know, when the nation of Israel decided that, hey, you know what? Whatever Esau does here in America, it's not a him thing, it's a we thing, right? So we going around being proud like Esau, you know, oh, America's the greatest country in the world. A nigga ain't never been nowhere, but he has to chant that. Why? Because his master says that. Stockholm Syndrome. Now, what you niggas don't understand, all you got nations outside of the United States, France and Spain, they will love to put hands on you motherfuckers, man. Just off of competition and disdain and envy and hatred. So when these motherfuckers come into this land and they see your loud mouth, you black woman, you nasty black whore, Hispanics and Native Americans, you niggas that can't be told nothing, when they see you and all this pride, and they've been given a green light to open up on you niggas, they're not gonna pull back. A lot of you niggas ain't gonna make it to the concentration camps, man. A lot of you black women, your mouth is known across the world, man. Starting with the Judite woman, your mouth is known across the world. So guess what? These UN troops, another thing that they don't talk about, the UN troops, they commit a lot of rape, and a lot of rape get done when they go from house to house. Get this, they're gonna have in their mind the group of women that they want to rape the most in the world of women living in the mall. Whether you know it or not, the group of women that these mercenaries and these other UN troops want to rape the most, just think about it. When you look at a woman who's humble and a woman who talks a whole rack of shit, who's the woman that you say, you know what, I really want to put it on her so she can shut the fuck up? It's that woman that talks a lot of shit. So you niggas, you don't understand where you at, man. Now we get that, the beast shall hate the horse. Revelation.
You got it. Revelation 17 to 16.
Right.
It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
Right, the 10 horns talking about the EU, which the EU transferred his power through the through NATO, which is the beast. You know, and through NATO you get the forces like UN and all that. Yeah. Now it says this shall hate the whore. Now we know ultimately that's gonna mean shooting thermonuclear missiles. So think about this. If you have it in your heart to ultimately shoot thermonuclear missiles in America, if given the opportunity, you're not gonna have it in your heart to rape these loud mouth ass women here in America, given the opportunity. Yeah. You're not gonna have you're not gonna be joyful and killing niggas and spicks and wetbacks. Come on, man. Like I said, you niggas don't know the type of hatred that the Lord is bringing through these nations, man. The hatred that these nations have for the Edomite here in America, He's gonna pour that same hatred on you niggas, man. It's gonna be a wonderful sight. Go ahead, I'll read it again.
It's Revelation 17 and 16.
Right.
It says, "In the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore."
Right, these shall hate the whore. The whore is talking about America. And if you side with America, you're part of that whore, man. So you're gonna receive the plagues of this whore. And what's the biggest plague that a whore can get? It's called rape. America's gonna be spiritually raped. America's gonna be physically raped. When I say physically, meaning the women in America, even the men, because that's how weird this shit is gonna get. The men, the women, and the children in America are gonna get raped by these forces, the UN troops, NATO troops, the Gurkha troops, mercenaries, Blackwater. All of these mercenaries, man, they're bloodthirsty savages. They literally live to go to war and kill people.
Yep.
That's why they like the fact that they have what diplomatic immunity, because they get to kill people and get away with it.
Hey, the ACLU and these different groups that advocate for people that's going to get raped, they're not going to be no longer run. They're not going to have no power. You're not going to be able to sue the United Nations for what they did to the people.
Because it's lawlessness.
Because when they bring these UN troops, when they unveil these UN troops in Chicago, which is only inevitable, there's going to be a lot of things that's going to take place. You think Black Lives Matter is going to be able to protest the UN occupation in Chicago?
Nah. Even the Black Panthers ain't ready for this shit, man.
Yeah.
The Black Panthers gonna be dead Panthers, man. That's what's gonna happen.
Right. These devils have algorithms and artificial intelligence to predict movements, to predict trends.
And you know what they also got? They also have insiders.
Yeah.
They also have guys that Israelites that are totally sold out. They're out here acting like they're part of the movement against. They're part of the Black Lives movement. They're part of the Black Panther movement. They're sleeper cells, man.
Yeah.
Dudes that are in there acting like they're down with the movement.
Yeah.
When the whole time they're giving Esau all the military strategy, where they train, what they talk about. Yep. So, man, when Esau moves, man, Jake gonna be caught with their pants slipping, right? You know, Jake gonna be caught with their pants and slipping. Go ahead.
Yeah, they say the enemy shall come in like a flood. That's what they're gonna do.
That's right.
Finishing this article, it says the city of Chicago is giving out. Okay, so they're giving out IDs. It says the Common Sense Show has learned from previously utilized and high-ranking and well-placed sources that occupation troops of the United Nations stationed in Chicago plan to use the extreme sentence to the NDAA to indefinitely detain without due process that they arbitrarily deem to be a potential problem. So even if you're deemed a potential problem, they're coming to get you, man. If they deem you that you can be a potential problem to the system, you get detained, man. It says, and it's gonna be without due process either, so you ain't gonna get your free phone call. You know, they're just gonna take you, and nobody's gonna know where the fuck you at, man.
That's right. That's right.
There's gonna be a lot of, have you seen me? Posters?
Yeah, you're gonna disappear to emptiness, man.
Yeah.
A black hole.
Yep. Where's my daddy? You know, a lot of you Negroes in Chicago will be like, where's my daddy, man? Because a lot of them niggas gonna get scooped up when the UN comes down, man.
That's right. And it really depends on how involved you are, because if you're just a lowly, grimy nigga that just knows one thing, to be under the curses, to kill your own brother, you ain't gonna be, you ain't not being brought up in no interrogation room. A nigga like that, man, they just gonna smoke your ass, man. Or put you in a fucking, sardine can, aka concentration camp, man.
Some of them execution.
Hey, what you gonna interrogate a nigga? A nigga don't even know the 3 branches of government. He spent all his life gangbanging and shit, man. There ain't no interrogation for a nigga like that.
Nigga can't speak
He can't
correct English. Hey, it's bad enough for you and
He's better, brother. He's better in sign language with them gang shit than he is with his own language.
Yeah, man. It says extreme tenets of the NDAA to indefinitely obtained without due process that they arbitrarily deem to be a potential problem. The list of detainees will not be confined to armed gangsters. Now, remind you, this is from a top official. See? But you let the United Nations...
Hey, read that again, brother. That's how it's funny. Armed gangsters.
It says, the list of detainees will not be confined to armed gangsters who are creating mayhem and murder in Chicago.
Get that scripture, Deuteronomy. The armed gangsters. Because that's how they quote them niggas. That's what they are though, man. Yeah, that's what. Hey, but ain't that what a niggas been advertising all these years?
Yeah,
gangsterism.
Yeah.
I mean, we've lived under these conditions of our women advocating the gangsterism, the men advocating gangsterism, our women saying they love nothing but the gangsters.
Well, you talk to a nigga.
Know,
you talk to a nigga, and he be like, man, my whole family been gang banged, so
yeah.
I came up through this, man.
Yeah,
my aunt was gang banging. My brother, my father, you know, he was gang banging. It's a culture.
A culture. Well, that's exactly. Well, that's what Esau had to infiltrate hip hop and push that gangsterism, man. Because Esau knew that gang banging stuff, man. That's a life of self-destruction. But the thing, you gotta understand something. Just because you set people up on the trap, they still gotta fall for it. You can set up a trap, the person still gotta fall in the trap. The reason why that trap and hip hop works so much and it vibes so much into the enslaving the minds of our men to want to kill each other is because this was already on top of it. This major curse by Yahweh Shem Shah. Go ahead and bring it.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54.
Start at 15.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15, right? But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments, and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Well, that's the thing. That's what made it so easy for a nigga to fall for that hip hop shit, man. A nigga sitting there in 2 minutes, a nigga like Rick Ross, 2 minutes, you know, talking about how he owns the Port of Miami. You know, and you know what that means if you own the Port of Miami. You know what that means. And then, you know, and he putting on the facade, the shade, the beard, the bald head. You know, becoming somebody else. And the whole time, nigga was a correctional officer. But how many souls gravitated towards that bullshit, man? But see, but it easily gravitated towards that because there was already a major curse that was upon him, man. And Esau knew that, man. All he had to do was set the trap. He knew we was going to walk into it because the curse was going to be heavy on us, man. Read that again.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Right.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power,
right,
to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day,
right,
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now jump to that curse.
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Right, when it says tender and delicate, it's not talking about on some effeminate bullshit, man. Tender and delicate means helpful and kind. Because you could be tough, you could be rough, tough, and kind. You know, it's just America's wicked as hell, man. If you rough and tough, then you got to be somebody who's, you know, who's no good. Well, and how do you know? Because look at these football players and how they get treated with these domestic abuses and shit. You know, the football player, as soon as a woman says, well, I was abused by a football player, it's like the rush is like, yo, you know what? We don't even need no proof. He's guilty. Why? Because he's big and strong. That's a wicked society, man. Just because you're big and strong don't mean you can't be kind. So the Lord is saying that we were kind with each other, man. Kind with each other. But what happened? Go ahead.
And that, so that, verse 54 said, so that the man that is tender and delicate and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
His eye shall be evil towards his brother, man. So everything he would covet, man. He would covet on his brother's house. He would covet on his brother's money. He would covet on his brother's wife. You know, that's where evil comes in. Evil comes in covetousness. Because through covetousness you get envy, and through envy you get wrath, man. and then you get wicked wrath, because you got righteous wrath and you got wicked wrath. You know, the wicked wrath is when, you know, you go in there and you totally off and you're murdering the nigga, you know, taking his wife, taking his items. Oh, another sign of wicked wrath. What are those? You know when them niggas, them drug dealing niggas, when they execute each other, when they kill each other, execution style, the nigga barging in the apartment, kick the door, put the nigga in the tub, you know what I'm saying, tie the nigga up, get all the bags of drugs and blow the nigga's brains out, kill not only him, he would kill the nigga's girl and the nigga's child, man.
Them Levites, them Haitians, the Levites
doing that shit
they
too.
Known for that.
Yeah.
Northern Kingdom too.
Northern Kingdom, yeah.
When he first went in the apartment, he had the suitcase. He was like, he put him in the tub. He had the chainsaw.
Yeah. That's a rap. Look.
That you seen that in that movie, Paid in Full with what's his name? A. They had his woman and his mom tied up.
Yeah, that's how they do. That's that.
That was like a true story.
Yeah,
That was true story.
Nah, it wasn't.
Well, no, I mean not the whole thing, but it's based what happened to the dude?
Yeah.
Because you know the dude actually killed his
younger brother.
No, the woman that happened in the room, the apartment. The woman actually got killed in that apartment in the Bronx.
See that?
So that actually happened.
And you see that? How many times do you see that on that show, First 48? You know, First 48 is all about that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
That curse. Read that curse again.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
That's right. The eyes shall be evil towards his brother. That's the black on black crime, man. You know, so-called black on black crime, so-called Hispanic on Hispanic, or native on native, so-called black on Hispanic, Hispanic on black, vice versa, man. Because we all brothers, you know, regardless of our tribe, we're all brothers.
And Esau has pushed the excuse that he used the curses that we're under to administer his martial law.
Absolutely.
And the justification.
Absolutely.
To roll on Jake.
Absolutely. And he's one of the titles in one of the articles. It said the UN peacekeepers to save black genocide. I mean, a title like that, you know. First of all, they call themselves UN peacekeepers. Well, let's get Psalms 55. 55 his word was smoother than butter. I mean, you gonna call yourself the UN peacekeepers when the UN has been caught selling guns? You know what I'm saying? I mean, these people don't know what the hell is going on, man. They're totally oblivious of what's getting ready to happen in this place, man. But you know, that's why it's gonna be it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something to see. Right out, you got it?
It's Psalms 55 and 21. And it reads, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Yeah, but war is in his heart. You bringing in the UN troops, man. You're bringing the UN troops for war. And it's only the beginning. That's just the first what? The first row.
The first step, the foothold.
Wait, they have a specific term for when you go to war. The first infantry or something like that. First assault.
Yeah, the first assault.
The first assault. That's all it is. The big dogs ain't even showing up yet, man. Like the brother said, the UN, they usually get here and they do some things. But then you get the Northcom and all these other dudes, man, and you know.
Israeli secret.
Yeah, man.
Because they're going to be here too.
Hell yeah, they're going to be here. Absolutely. Yeah, some more? Yeah, go ahead.
It's Psalms 55 and 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Right.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Yeah, you coming in to save, we're going to save you Negroes from black genocide. You want to say something?
Yeah, with the UN. They call it the UN peacekeepers.
Yeah.
And that's our people, the ones that's in the not know, the ones that's blind, they're going to fall into that trap. The ones that want the fighting to stop. They're going to go to the UN like, yeah, them niggas over there, they about to start a war. Now you just led your people to a trap to the point they about to annihilate them, you know, and you too.
Oh yeah,
you know?
because remember, part of it is also, even the ones that don't game bang, because remember, a lot of it starts and it's been going on, it's also been allowed. Because you got niggas that don't gangbang, but you can't pay them niggas to get out the hood. They'll tell you like, this is one fuck. And they take pride in living in places where, although they don't commit those crimes, they take pride in telling people that this is where I come from. I come from a place that's wealthy. That's why you see, when I was telling brothers when I came up, I didn't even want to say it, because us men of the law, we don't take pride in coming up and witnessing the things that we witnessed, man. That shit was off, man. But these niggas have allowed that shit. They've allowed it. And the thing is that now that you've allowed it and it's come to this level, hey, you make your bed, you gotta lay on it. Because these thug niggas, a lot of these niggas, they don't work. These niggas don't work. So where the fuck these niggas sleep at, man? A lot of these niggas go day to day. They might have $300 today, but they might have nothing the next day. They might go on droughts, but they always got a fucking place to sleep. And it's not the shelters. They go and sleep with their mama. So why are you still allowing a gang-banging son that you know in the streets? You've heard in the streets that he might have taken lives. Why are you still opening the doors to him to come and sleep, right? In the house? So you're harboring all these misfits, these demons, and the Lord gonna deal with it. He gonna deal with them kids, he gonna deal with the mothers, he gonna deal with the fathers. Hey man, this is coming, man.
Hey, you know the black woman, that's my baby.
Yeah.
You can't say nothing bad about my baby. That's how a black woman do, man.
Hell yeah. Knowing damn well that nigga in the wrong.
Yep.
This is Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
That's right. Hey, Chicago, it's the land of what gangsterism, man. So they sold that, and them niggas and that spirit went across the four corners of America. Now we have a whole culture based on that garbage, to the point where even these Edomites, their children, their heathens, you got Cushites walking around acting like us, listening to that bull. I was gonna say our music, because that shit ain't our music. Listen to that garbage, and everybody. That's one of the reasons why I think about it. When you go back to the 50s in America, people knew when they were strong and when they were weak. You know, it was distinct. But now, ever since you had that hip hop and gangsterism, that violence and all that, everybody's tough. You're not gonna find one dude here. You can tell the dude can't fight his way out of a wet paperback, but he's gonna act like he can though. Why? Because he listened to the music, and the music told him that you gotta be a rough motherfucker, you gotta be a gangster, you gotta be about that life. You can't let nobody punk you. The scripture says, hey, listen, you got men out here that have the capability to punk you. So therefore, guess what you're supposed to do? It says that in Sirach, if you can say, it says you're supposed to walk around and go in a different alley, bro. The scripture says that. Let me
Mighty man?
Yeah, the mighty man. It's a Sirach.
Another one is that says, be as wise as serpents, harmful as stuff.
Yeah.
So if you see some wicked shit going on, you see some shit you can go around, you best to use wisdom.
Yeah, the world is gonna look at it as you being punked, but hey, man, that's called wisdom, man. Right. You walking around, you see 15 niggas in the alley, man. 15 niggas in the alley, and these niggas, they're sending that energy like that's what they do. They fucking rob niggas. And you walking around there with your headphones on, thinking, okay, if I block them niggas out, they're gonna just act like I'm not passing by. You fucking serious?
What's the scripture that says it's like a dead lion is something than a living dog?
Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke.
The scriptures also say, don't lend to someone that's mightier than you. You know, because if you lend to a person that's mightier than you, he doesn't pay you back, what are you going to do? You can't do anything about it.
Let me finish this real quick. It says, for years the common sexual has been diligently in exposing the existence of UN troops on U.S. soil, who are simply waiting for a pretext to emerge and enforce martial law as the opening salvo for the takeover of America.
Beautiful, your pop. That's your pop. We want that. We want martial law in the streets of America. We want race wars in the streets of America.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. It's biblical prophecy.
Biblical prophecy by the Heavenly Father.
Yeah, we have no other choice but to accept it.
That's right.
And that's why we come out here week in and week out to proclaim that it's about to come. And when it comes, there's no excuses for the people. They're just going to be under a tyranny.
It's a part of our salvation. The scripture says that looking after these things to come. So when we looking after the race war and chaos, that's a part of our salvation. That's the coming back of Yahushua, man, the return of Yahushua.
Which the race war and the martial law is, well, the race wars and the turmoil is a justification to administer martial law, which is a justification for Esau to put his hands on us, to try to put his hands on us.
That's right.
For Yahushua to come back.
That's right.
It says not one jot and not one tittle. You know, all you got, prophecy has to be fulfilled.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Get on Luke 21 and 30. Luke 21 and 36. Bro's got a couple more scriptures. We're gonna wrap up in a couple minutes.
Oh, and somebody get Isaiah 10 and 5. We get in with that. You know.
Read on Luke 21. Read on 27, 28, and 29, and then 36.
This is Luke chapter 21, verse 27. Verse 27. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory.
Well, start at 24.
It's Luke 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Right, the UN is going to try down on the UN, the United Nations, right? The United Nations are heathens. They're going to try down on the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, until their time is up, right?
Keep reading.
Yeah, keep.
Verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves warm. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken.
That's right. Powers of heaven shall be shaken, and be chaos all over the place, right?
And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory.
Mashiach Yahushua, our Savior and Deliverer, the captain of our salvation, as the scripture calls him, right?
And when these things began to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.
Right, when they begin to pass. So now we looking up and we lifting our heads, because salvation is near now. Because we're going to see all hell breaking loose out here now. Jump to 36.
Verse 36. Watch ye therefore and pray always,
right,
that you may be accounted worthy.
Well, read 34 and then 36.
Verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts, being overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness.
How about try 32? Because this is the particular scripture I'm looking for.
It's verse 32. Verily I say unto you,
there you go.
This generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled.
Right, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Now go to 36, and then we're going to get Isaiah over.
Verse 36. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
That's right, to stand before the Son of Man, Yahushua HaMashiach. So we got to watch and pray that we escape these things that's coming. And we're doing the work, so we have faith that we're going to escape these things. Go ahead, one more scripture and we are ready.
10 and 5. So Isaiah 10 and 5. It says, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger.
Yeah, the Assyrian, the modern day Assyrian, you're talking about is the UN, the United Nations, Esau.
And the staff in their hand is mine indignation.
So the staff, staff represents power. In the UN's power is the Lord's indignation.
That's
so
right.
whatever force they're coming with is the force of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua.
That's right.
Using them as a tool. You know?
That's right.
Go ahead.
I will send him against a hypocritical nation and against the people of my wrath.
So the Lord said he's going to send them against the hypocritical nation. The hypocritical nation is Israelites, man.
That's right.
And you Israelites in Chicago, you know, you Israelites in the Gentile state of mind, following after the gods of the heathen, you're going to find out that the Lord is going to be up against you, and he's going to use the UN.
That's right.
You know, whether you in the streets or you out the streets, you in government, he's going to get you, man. Go ahead.
And against the people of my wrath will I give them a charge to take the spoil, and to take the prey.
That's right.
A lot of them people in these different cities, starting with Chicago, there's going to be a lot of spoil, you know? They're going to be spoiled, man. Right. The goods are going to be taken from them, you know? They're going to be laid waste, man. They're going to be given into desolation. You're going to be in perplexity.
Let's wrap up, brother. Let's wrap up. Yeah, we gotta go up.
That's it, man. We give all praises to y'all.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh,
Bahashim, and double honor to the apostles of the great millstone. Salutations to you brothers pushing the word and sincerity and truth. Shalom, man.
Shalom. All right, let's go.